Welcome back to HoloVids. Today we're going to be going into another fan theory video. Today we're going to be going into why Crimson Dawn is going to appear in a second season of the Book of Boba Fett. Now, as to why it's Crimson Dawn, I'm going to keep that in maybe a separate video, just because I don't want to waste your guys' time. I know everyone's very busy, so to keep things concise, we're just going to dive into what could happen if Crimson Dawn did show up. So this is going to be more of a fan fiction slash Star Wars theory type of video. So to not waste any more time, let's get into it. So as to how Crimson Dawn is going to show up, I think we might see them being hinted at here and there in the episode, kind of like how Thanos was hinted at in the Marvel films that led up to Infinity War. We might get the same thing. We might see a hint of them at the end of an episode or during it, sort of suggesting or making us theorize that we're going to see Crimson Dawn in the future. But again, when Crimson Dawn finally does show up, I think that they're definitely going to try and negotiate with Boba Fett first, rather than launching a full-scale attack. Because as we know, I'm assuming they're the ones that hired the Pikes to go and take Tatooine. And of course, that was a lot of credits that would have been spent to not only transport troops, weapons, and equipment, but a whole other sort of thing. So to do that all over again would be very costly, and it could fail again. So instead, I think they're going to try and negotiate with Boba first and figure out, like, can they buy Tatooine from him because everyone's got a price. And of course, when they do finally reach Boba, whether it's via messenger or through a hologram or a message, I think Boba's going to be the same old daimyo that he is. He's going to say, no, I'm not going to give up Tatooine for any sort of price. These are my people, and I'm going to protect them with my life if I need to. And of course, this is going to then force Crimson Dawn to say, very well, if you won't give it to us, then we're going to take it. And now, this is where Crimson Dawn is going to basically put all their money into their armor and their weapons and equipment. I'm assuming Crimson Dawn has a substantial amount of weapons and equipment. They probably have a fleet of their own. Now, I don't think that they have Star Destroyers, but I'm assuming that they got ships maybe the size of an Arquitens-class cruiser, or maybe Gazanti-class frigates, something big enough to bombard a city or to do a lot of damage to other ships, or an entire planet even. This is where I think Crimson Dawn's going to bring in their fleet, just bring it right into the planet's atmosphere, right above Mos Espa, as well as even Boba Fett's palace, and just start bombarding the city. This is going to force Boba Fett to try and hop into his Slave One and try and shoot down as many of these ships as possible. Now, there's probably going to be a multitude of fighters and cruisers above them, blasting and bombarding the city, similar to how Grand Admiral Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels was bombarding Lothal, just absolutely destroying buildings, cities, streets, and leaving no one in his path. Now, I think Boba could probably take down a couple of these. He might use his seismic charges and blow up a couple cruisers, but for just one ship, unless Boba has a few ships with him of his own, I don't think Boba's going to last very long. Most likely, Boba would get shot down. Now, I don't think that his ship or Boba would be destroyed, but I do think that the Slave One would be damaged enough that it wouldn't be able to return to the fight. And this is where Boba's going to have to watch as his city is bombarded and people are being killed. Fennec, Chrysanthemum, and his other allies could be captured, or maybe they could even be killed, or at least a few of them. But I think this is where Boba's going to say, this is it, like, stop, I surrender, you can have Mos Espa, you can have Tatooine, just leave these people alone and leave us in peace. I'll go and you can have it all. And I think this is where Crimson Dawn is going to be ruthless. They're going to say, no, we gave you the chance to be civil about this, to give it to us peacefully. We gave you our word that we weren't going to hurt them, but you forced our hand. And this is where they're going to just completely flatten Mos Espa, execute everyone that they might have captured. This includes Fennec even. And this is where Boba is going to realize that he's losing his family a second time. We'd see the flashbacks of the Tuskens, and it would reiterate the idea that he's going to be alone once again, and that he's lost everything. The people he promised to protect, the people he said he was going to be loyal to and make sure they were safe, are all gone. Chrysanthemum, Fennec, the people of Mos Espa are gone, leaving him stranded, alone, defenseless, and helpless. Now, this would break Boba once again. We saw how emotional he got over the Tuskens after losing them. This would be even more damaging to Boba. He would most likely break down, and it would probably send him into another rage and his need for revenge once again. Now, Boba's not stupid. He knows he can't take on Crimson Dawn by himself, so he's going to have to call upon other allies he might still have. Now, this is probably going to include people like the Mandalorian. It could include other surviving members or people on Tatooine. It could even include Bo-Katan, for all we know. Unfortunately, I can guarantee you that Bo-Katan's not going to accept his call. The Mandalorian is probably going to be busy with his own problems, and the people on Tatooine, such as people on Mos Eisley or the people of Freetown, they're most likely not going to want to get involved after seeing Mos Espa get completely destroyed. This is going to force Boba to call upon different allies, or at least potential allies, and the people I think Boba's going to contact are the Hutts. Now, the reason why the Hutts might be inclined to help Boba is because they'd want to use Boba's skill to help them gain control again and become the most feared criminals in the galaxy once again. Because, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure Crimson Dawn is going to hold that title for a while. And until they're gone, the Hutts aren't going to be in charge, or at least not the most feared, for a while. As for Boba, we might see this relationship pull in old Boba back. We might see this cold-blooded bounty hunter return to the galaxy and return to Boba's story. This could also drag in classic bounty hunters that we all know, such as Bosk and Dengar. For all we know, this could end up leading to a entire crime syndicate war where we have crime syndicates such as the Hutts fighting Crimson Dawn. It could drag the Pikes and even the Black Sun into it. And for all we know, it could bring many more syndicates that we haven't even heard of into an entire galactic crime war that will all end up in Boba's revenge on Crimson Dawn and might even make him return as the new crime lord of the galaxy if he's successful. Overall, this could lead to many different things, and I'm super hyped and super excited to see what this could mean for Boba's story as well as the rest of the Star Wars galaxy. But these are just my Star Wars theories and fan fictions. If you enjoyed watching, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions on what I should cover in future videos, please leave them in the comments below. I read everyone's comments and reply to everyone I can. But without further ado, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.